Hello YouTube and welcome back. It's been a couple of days longer than I would have liked. It's been rough. I've been working very hard on varsity stuff. But we're back now, getting out another video, and we're traveling along what is very gradually, slowly becoming a road. It's still a little informal. I'll mix it up with some coarse dirt and some spruce and some podzol eventually and things like that. And coming in, I like what we did last episode. The stables look good. They work. I really do like them. Bit of an update. I got 2 skeleton horses. Scared me half to death when the skeleton horse trap thing triggered. For the last episode we got a comment suggesting podzol in here. And at the time that I was recording that, I had not yet gotten this shovel. So I couldn't actually get podzol to put in here. But I went and I put in spruce instead, and I think it works quite well. So let me know what you guys think, because you know I'll take your opinions into account. But yeah, I think the spruce looks okay. It doesn't look too bad. Coming along, I've worked quite a bit on the road, making it wider, coming up. It goes quite a way that way now, but it's no more detailed than this just yet. Coming into the village as well, I've done a bit more planning here. So this was the little water hole I mentioned in the last video. I just put a circle around it, gave it a center point, and I marked out a larger circle around it that will ultimately become our town center. But that's still a couple of episodes away. This pathway leads down to the water, and I can actually show you guys. I find it's a lot easier to visualize things from the air. So I went and I made a bit of a map. I think that looks pretty good. See, the pathway runs to about there, and that little curve is nice. Took me a couple of tries to get that. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously that needs a bit of an update, so let's do that real quick. Yeah, okay, update. Confused me there for a second. I am terrible at reading maps. Anyway, I've done a bit of prep today, but before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my question for in the last episode on some different combination choices, and by all means pop me some more suggestions if you've got them. Some suggestions on buildings that you'd like to see come up in this village as well. I'm more than willing to take those suggestions into account. But yeah, I've done some prep work over here. I scooched this hill back quite a bit. Not perfect, I still need to cover up some stone. And I laid out the basics, the foundation for what I'm going to be building today. And this is going to be a blacksmith. I thought it's a very prominent building in most villages. It's, you know, every village needs a blacksmith. Some blacksmiths better than others, granted. As you can see from the chest, today we're going to be using the spruce logs, same as we've been using, but we're going to use birch stripped logs instead of oak stripped logs. We're going to see how that goes. I've prepped all the materials that I should need for this build, at least for the basic build. When it comes to the decorating and so on, I'll go and grab up some other materials. But yeah, what I was thinking for this, see, we've got a very basic L shape here, and it's right on the city center. It's probably going to be one of the most prominent buildings in the village. I mean, it's a prominent building in any village. The blacksmith, that's where everyone goes to get their horseshoes made and their tools mended. And if it's a militaristic village, you know, the blacksmith is a very prominent figure. It's also a very stereotypical figure, but we're not going to talk about that. Um, anyway, so what I was thinking is that this area that doesn't have the birch, forgotten the word, half slabs, um, is like his outdoor courtyard workspace area. And I was thinking we're going to build a nice big forge, furnace. I think it's just called a forge, in this little nook right there. And in this area he'll have some display room. We'll put an anvil down, a cauldron with some water. And then this would be the main entrance into the building coming through, and then everything else would happen over here. I'm not quite sure yet whether I'm going to go 2 stories. Definitely not 3. I won't go more than 2. 3 would just be too big for this village. I mean, nothing else in this village is that big, and nothing else in this village is going to be that big. But it might have a second story. Then again, it might just as easily not have a second story. I do, however, want to incorporate something similar to that. We've got the double-pitched roof and the mono-pitched roof, the pitch only going in one direction. I want to see if I can work something like that in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up the walls and probably put up the majority of the roof as well, and then I'll get right back to you guys if something interesting happens in between, if I change my mind, or if I just get lonely and I want to chat. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't hate that. I know a lot of you are going to hate me for not hating that. Like, the birch logs don't work, okay? They'll never work with anything ever, no. But the white, ignoring the black speckled garbage, the white works with the spruce very well. And I think if we were to use another white block, say bone blocks or quartz, heavens no, quartz is not going to happen because it's a pain to get enough quartz, but I think the white could work nice. Not in this village, this is a very wooden village, but maybe we do another village in the future. Anyway, so I did end up going for a second story, just a small one. It's probably just going to be the bedroom that's up there, similar to the wizard's hut. But I wanted to bring you guys in. It's got a patio up there, and I have an idea. I want to try it. I'm not 100% certain that it's going to work, but we're going to give... Dang it! Just as I wanted to really get into it, I run out of the blocks I need. I'm going to come and grab some more of those. Hopefully I still have more smooth stone. Yeah, lucky me, ain't I? So let's do that. There we go. Okay, that should hopefully be enough to finish this up. I'm going to run this through with you guys and see how I feel about it. I'm not 100% certain that this is going to work. Okay, so putting in the edging like we normally do, 3 apart, right? And coming inside I've done the staircase, and I quite like it. I think this makes it for a very nice little shelf. Just, it's a something. It's a decorative little piece. And then up here, right? So what I was thinking is that we'd take spruce, just continue the floor on, and we raise it by a half block. Okay, just like that. Then it's a patio, so it needs a balustrade. I don't know, kids fall off and break their necks or something. As an aspiring architect, I'm not a fan of balustrades. They are often in the way of designs, but I think just a little just a little step like that isn't bad. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but I think something like that could work. Let's jump down here and have a look. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I don't hate that. We'll see how I feel about it in about half an hour. Maybe I end up changing it out. Anyway, so yeah, I've done that. And you guys can see all the ceilings are in. This one as well. And I just need to put the roofs on. I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to be doing with that little side bit, the entranceway's roof. Like, I know in the beginning of this video I mentioned that I wanted to try and do something similar to that building, combining the double pitch and the single pitch. But I might end up not doing that, because this is a really tiny, awkward little piece. I don't know. I also need to figure out this roof. Like the patio area, or not the patio. This is the patio. That is the workshop. The workshop also needs a roof. Can't have the blacksmith's tools all getting wet. This roof, however, it's exactly the same size as the wizard hut's tower. It's not going to have that roof, I assure you. It will have a double pitched roof. It'll be a tiny double pitch, although not really. It's the same measurements across as that. No, then it'll look perfectly fine. It'll have that roof. Exactly the same. Anyway, so yeah, that's going on here. I just need to figure out... Dang it. I really need to stop jumping down like that. Although, I'm wearing decent armor and I've got more potatoes and steak than I know what to do with, so I'll be fine, I'm sure. But yeah, thought I'd bring you guys in here, give you a bit of a status update, and I do like the white with the spruce and the stone. I'll definitely have to incorporate that at a later stage somewhere, maybe in the next village, but not with the birch logs. We'll use bone blocks, probably. Most probably it'll be bone blocks. Anyway, I'm gonna sleep the night away, get some roofs up, maybe strip the logs, and then I'll be back with you guys. So we've got some roofs up. Roofs? That one. Anyway, we've got roofs, and we've got openings for windows all over the place. Up next, before we tackle the workshop area's roof, I want to figure out our furnace, our chimney, yeah, the chimney of the furnace, right? And I'm thinking that we'll have the fire in this hole, that little gap coming up, and then give him his little work platform-esque thing like that. Now, I've built a couple little forge areas before on solo player worlds and things like that, and in my experience the only thing I've ever really been able to do that works is just literally wing it. Just go for it, try whatever comes to mind. For instance, like this, I just gathered cobblestone. I think cobblestone works, it's a bit more interesting building the actual furnace itself than brick. I don't know why. It's a bit of a texture variation, I guess. But yeah, I think something like that could work. Isn't too bad. Let's grab this, pillar up a bit. I'm thinking though that do we want to step it in already? Because we could break out these blocks and put in stairs like that. I know it's going to get stepped in eventually. I just don't know if now is the time to do it. Take it up a couple of more maybe. Plurp. And then it needs to get even narrower. So we go up. I want it to go higher than that. Just, you know, this is the blacksmith being careful. Maybe he's burnt down a house or two in his life. I don't know if he's burnt down a house, but maybe he's burnt down a workshop. Okay, humor me. And I think, yeah, that should be perfectly fine. It's not going to be the biggest blacksmith or the best blacksmith. The actual person probably won't be the best in the world. In this particular world, we'll probably have some bigger, more grander, elaborate smithies built elsewhere. I do, however, want to do one thing, and I want to do this while I've got all your attentions, just so that everyone knows that I do this. I like playing with fire tick set to false. Okay, all this allows me to do is chuck that guy in there and do that. And now I don't have to worry that my house is going to catch on fire because I didn't calculate wood distances, and I actually think that this is far enough. Because I believe it's 4 above and 1 to either side of the fire, but I'm not 100% certain. And when you've got a village built of wood, watching it burn down is probably one of the worst things that can happen to you in Minecraft. So yeah, I play with fire tick off just so I can do things like this. Make my blacksmith have a fire going, and maybe we'll do fireplaces and things in some of the houses. Anyway, so now we've got that up, and while I've got all you guys' attention, all you lovely people's attention, I want to see if maybe we can figure something out for this workshop roof. What I was thinking was to have a pitch coming down this way and a pitch coming down this way, and the two meeting here in the corner. Okay, but because this distance is only 4, it's half this, which is 8. I was thinking that we could take this slope, the sun's going down so I'll have to go and sleep, we can take the longer slope and extend it, say do 3 blocks and then up, and then 3 blocks and then up, something like that, while the other one is half the distance. So maybe not 3 blocks, maybe we go 4 blocks on the longer distance and 2 blocks on the shorter distance, but we'll figure that out. I just want to see, I don't want it to be able to go too low, because then I'm going to have trouble connecting these columns up to it, and we're going to bump our head as we walk in, and that won't be fun for anyone. So let's come out 4 down, 1, come on, something like that, and then this should be a full block again. Yeah, we could do something like that. That's very fat though. The rest of my roofs are a bit narrower than that. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's fill this in and we'll see. Maybe it does work, maybe it doesn't. I actually just realized I've made a very silly mistake. I've been dumb. This was not what was supposed to happen. This slope was not supposed to fall in this direction. But now that I have it, I think if we just take this thing through all the way as one continuous slope, that could also be interesting. Tell you what, guys, I'm gonna fill that in, see what it looks like, and then I'll bring you back. Well, what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy. I think it works. The birch, now that it's stripped, still looks pretty good with the spruce. I like it, and it might just be my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think that if I look at these two, like we're about equal distances away from them, I think that the birch planks and the birch stripped logs are a much closer match to one another than what the oak variants are. Maybe I'm just going insane, but as you can see, I've stuck to what I had originally, just pulled it through, and I like that it gives kind of a slight curve, so we've got 4, 3, 2. And I think that works pretty well. Yeah, walking in underneath it, it feels quite homey. It feels, I think it feels kind of comfortable. Like the blacksmith would be, he wouldn't feel claustrophobic working down here every day, all day. I think he'd like his house, his workshop. Coming in, obviously I've put in the doors and the interior hasn't changed much at all. But yeah, it's a pure coincidence that this works out as effectively as it does. You know, if I were, say I were the blacksmith's teenage son, I think this is where I'd spend a lot of my time, just hiding from people, being a teenager. Obviously the blacksmith, dear old dad, would know about it, but he'd leave me alone. He'd let me be a teenager for a bit, and then he'd come and kick me into gear and make me help him around in the forge. I don't know. Random spitballing things. But yeah, I think this works. It's obviously not done. We've got a lot of work to do, but I think our time for this video is pretty much over. So we'll do the decorating of the forge, putting in the armor stands and all that stuff, and doing the interior of the house in the next episode. I have some great ideas that I want to try out for the interior. I really want to step up my game in comparison to what we did with the stables. That was not good. I'm in two minds whether I want to change that or keep it. Like, if we keep it, it's a great comparison to see that we went from that to what I'm going to do here and to what we'll probably do in the future once I can do interiors, once I've grown and learned a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think that's gonna call it for today, guys. So you know how it works. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe for some more just like this, and I'll see you guys again next time.